And in this video, I'm going to give you some business advice that'll help you massively grow your business. In fact, it'll change the whole the way you think. So stay tuned. I mix and mingle with a lot of business owners, and I talk to a lot of different business owners, and I can tell you now that the number one limiting factor in your business, the number one limiting factor is you. And it can be really hard to comprehend that, or even to accept that, because it is about looking internally and go, well, what is it about my business that's holding it back? What's holding my business back? And you could answer that question. So what's holding your business back? It starts with an M, ends with an E. It's a very short word, but it's a powerful one. And so you are your biggest limiting factor. So in this video, I thought I'd cover off, because everyone's looking for that magic dust or that magic solution to growing your business. And it really does start with you and the way that you think. If your mindset's all wrong, then you're probably not going to grow your business. And that's about looking at the positives in things. You see people that are, people say to me, hey Ben, you're happy all the time. Why are you always so happy? Well, I choose to be. I know that by reacting or responding in a negative way to the things around me in my life aren't going to be productive. So why bother? Why bother doing it? And nobody wants to be around a misery guts, do they? Think about the last miserable person you met and said to yourself, well, did you want to hang around with them, or did you want to run a mile as quick as you can? Now, I know what the answer probably is. You probably wanted to do the dash and get out of there. And I can understand that. Most entrepreneurial people feel that way. So if you're looking to really fast track the growth of your business, it all starts with you. And that means you've got to change the way that you think. And you've got to stop blaming other people when things don't go right. You've got to stop making excuses when you're not getting things done. You've got to stop living in denial. Don't live in denial. It's not about, don't pretend everything's okay when it's not. Take ownership. Be responsible and accountable for what goes on in your business and your life, and you'll see a massive change in your business. It's that simple. People want to be around people that do take ownership. So let's give you a few examples. Let's say you run a marketing campaign and it costs you a couple of $1,000s and you don't get a single sale out of it. Now, we could blame the paper that you put that ad in, or we could blame Google for not showing your ad enough, or we could blame the weather for that week, or we could blame, there's a million and one things we could blame. We could blame the economy, the Prime Minister, the fuel prices, the interest rates. We could make so many excuses also around those different things that, you could validate these things to a point where you're in denial. Where you go, no, my ad was good, it was the economy, it was the interest price hike, the announcement that happened by the RBA on Tuesday. We can make all these excuses when in reality you need to say, well, maybe I suck at writing ads, maybe I suck at marketing, maybe I need to learn how to market more effectively. And once you take that ownership, you can get better at it. And this applies to just about anything. Well, it doesn't just about anything, it applies to everything, let's put it that way. Whether it's your business or it's your home, it's your relationships, it's your bank balance, it's you're in control of all of that. And until you take responsibility and ownership for those things, until you recognise that you are your biggest limiting factor, then it's going to remain your biggest limiting factor and you're not going to know what to do about it. So this is the first step. So my business advice today is for you to recognise that you are your biggest limiting factor. So how do you work on that? Well, I think it's not a switch in particular that you can just switch to go, well, I'm now going to be a different person. It's about working on who you are over time. And that's about reading the right books, hanging around with the right people. It's about going to the right courses. It's about being mentored by somebody to help you think differently. It's about catching yourself out when you're doing things wrong, so when you're reacting badly, but also catching yourself out when you're responding in a positive way. Now, you notice I just used those two words, react and respond. And really, that to me, that's what it's about, is when you hear something and you react to it. If you think about medicine, if a doctor gives you a prescribed drug to make you feel better, if you react, that's a bad thing. If you respond, that's a good thing. And I believe the same thing is in business. If you react to some news, it's bad. If you respond, then that's good. So let's say you've just lost your biggest client that you've had and they bring in 40% of your revenue. Well, you could react and that's going to be negative, or you could respond and that's going to be positive. And we're not going to go into ways that you can keep the client on, but you probably get the picture. That something dreadful goes on in your day, respond in a positive manner. Somebody if something bad happens to you and you respond in a positive manner, you're going to handle it a lot differently to how you would have if you reacted in a negative way. So there you go. So really what I'm talking about is you taking ownership, responsibility, and being accountable for what happens in your business and in your life, and you'll see a massive difference in the results that you get. Hopefully that's the business advice you were looking for.